nerds? Thanks for joining us. It is Thursday, and today we are talking about the book of Boba Fett. So, hang out, don't miss out. This is the FOMO Show. Hey, I am Dylan.
I'm Quinn.
And...
Okay.
Oh, sorry. We've got our phone set up looking at the time thing. All right, so thanks for watching, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Appreciate you. Please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon.
Ding.
There you go. So you know when we drop a new video, when we go live, and all that fun stuff. So also, thank you for your support. Thank you for liking and sharing and doing all that awesome stuff for us. It makes a big difference, and it means a lot for us and the channel. So, also we're on TikTok now. So, yeah, actually been on TikTok technically, but I haven't posted with the past couple weeks. So, yeah, follow us on TikTok. Yeah,
Waddle Weedle.
That's what the kids are doing these days.
Yep.
So yeah, and don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.pictures.com. Alrighty.
Yep. All right.
Also, special notes: just stay healthy out there, and take the necessary precautions. That
Anybody's birthday?
Probably, but
the 13th is my mother-in-law's birthday, Shay's mom. That's what that means if she's my mother-in-law. Tina, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I think that's it. The only birthday I know in February. Valentine's Day is Monday.
That day don't into that, so screw that day.
Okay. Okay.
It's invented by the card companies.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Any other special notes?
I don't know that there's going to be an episode where I'm just like on point ever again. I did manage to get through the opening without stuttering though, so
it happens. We're live.
Yeah.
All right. I guess
that's live. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we on me?
Yes.
Okay. This is your spoiler alert. If you have not watched all seven episodes of Boba Fett, pause this, go watch that, and then return. You have been warned.
Oh, there it is. There's your spoiler warning. So, all right. I know that we are getting Obi-Wan. I think May 24th, I believe.
Yeah.
So not May 4th, but it is the anniversary of New Hope. I think it's like that.
Even though it came out, I think 74.
I was gonna say 18, but that's not right. Yeah.
When did it come out? 74 or 70?
I think it's, I thought it was like 78, 79 or something. I don't know. Bro, that just shows like we've already lost Star Trek. Oh my God! Whatever Star Wars audience we had left, I just lost them. Just lost them. It's gone.
You have to leave
well,
now, Dylan.
thanks for tuning in, guys.
That's the whole show. Oh,
Man, it's been a bit since we had any kind of Mandalorian or any kind of Star Wars stuff. So,
yeah.
Book of Boba Fett was a nice little intro back in. I was trying to find if we had even talked about Star Wars recently, and we have not for a very long time.
Very, very long time.
Yeah. So, and there's no real Marvel news this week unless you want to talk about the Madam Web casting, but we can talk about that later.
The No Way Home DVD is going to have 100 minutes of extra content.
Oh, wow.
That's about it.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yep. Is it? So, do you say Boba Fett or Boba Fett?
Boba Fett.
You said it so fast.
Because you say Boba Fett where? if one of us, if I'm at home and one of us says Boba Fett, Shay or I, the other one says where.
Oh, is that? So that's just like a family thing.
I guess.
I didn't know if it was like a Star Wars thing. I wasn't aware
Han
of.
Solo said it. Because, like, Chewbacca was like, and he was like, Boba Fett, where? And then turn around and hit him.
Oh, okay. Man, dude. Man, I just thought I was a nerd. So, yeah, we're getting Obi-Wan in the next few months. And so basically, as far as, like, Disney Plus big shows, we're going to get Moon Knight. And then it'll be Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and then Obi-Wan. So they're kind of alternating between big shows with Marvel and Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
As
so
they should.
Yeah, if they're smart. I mean, this was basically Mando 2.5.
For the first 3 episodes, it wasn't. Once you hit that episode, I was like, this is weird. What am I watching? Come into another room. Why are you watching Mandalorian again? I'm not. I can take you in warm, cold. Yeah. Oh man, it's so cool. But yeah.
Yeah. So okay, you want to go ahead and rate the thing, since this is a review of not just the finale, but the entire thing. I mean, because we're gonna, even if we were talking about the finale, we'd end up talking about the whole damn thing anyways, because that's what we do. We just talk too much and too long. So
so rating for the whole shebang, I'm gonna give it a 8 out of 10. Are you gonna give it an 8 out of 10?
I had been. I feel like yes, I was gonna give it an 8.
Because
an 8 Slimos out of 10.
8 Slimos. I'm gonna give it 8. I don't think you want to do that. Out of 10s.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it was
like I love that there's like that hint of nasalness.
He has no nose.
Nasally. It's just like, oh crap, man.
And always like showing his teeth and gritting.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, it's such a good live action adaptation.
Yes.
Even though he was a little thicker than the cartoon version, but I mean,
that's all right.
Like somebody pointed out that Count Dooku live action versus Clone Wars was like completely different, which makes absolutely.
What are the heads? What are those heads? Those heads, the Eastern Island heads.
The Easter Island. Oh yeah, he did look like an Easter Island.
Yeah,
head from the Easter Island.
He did.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but yeah, which it's fine. I thought Cad Bane was like it was perfect. Let me say the full word, perfect, because it I don't know, it was a lot. The starting of the beginning of the show, episode 1, I enjoyed it, but it was a slow episode, but I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah, the whole season was like a slow burn, kind of. As far as like, I mean, so people were torn, obviously, on if it was good or bad. Just take it at face value. It is what it is. Mando 2.5, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't find anything wrong with that. It was fun. Kind of like Solo is like, I had very, very low expectations because the reviews and everybody said it was crap, and then I went and saw it and I actually had fun. I liked it.
It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
It and that's like the same thing that Boba Fett did. Mandalorian does it too, where Mando's in a different corner. But Boba Fett did kind of the same thing that Solo and Rogue One did. Once again, Mandalorian, whole different corner. Yeah. And kind of showing the Star Wars universe outside of being a Jedi. or outside of us focusing in on this singular point story, even in Clone Wars, you were still kind of under the umbrella of the whole time.
For sure.
And this takes it like completely outside. It shows that like there's criminal organizations, there's undergrounds there. It shows how OP Jedi actually are, because the freaking walkers in the finale, a Jedi could have handled that. Jedi could have just done a whole bunch of shit with that real quick. But and also it built on a part of the universe that honestly, even for me, was kind of fuzzy, because I did not know Mos Eisley was that big.
Yeah.
And it was like broken.
We learned a lot about Tatooine.
We learned a lot about Tatooine.
And the Sand People, like, so, I mean, so there were a lot of good things, and I mean a lot of great things.
Yes.
About this season, but there were some questionable things as well. And like personally, I think it got bogged down in studio heavy-handedness. Personally, that's what I think. Some people are saying, "Oh, Robert Rodriguez doesn't know how to write television." This is bullshit. Like, he is freaking Robert Rodriguez. Like, if you only know him from Spy Kids, you need to do some research, because the man is action. Like, he knows what he is doing.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying, "Oh, there's so many cuts in the finale. There's so many cuts, man. You don't do that." It's like, have you watched an action movie?
Apparently not.
Like, I've written action, and so I've studied like action movies, like studied hardcore studied action movies. On average, every 4 seconds there's a cut. Every 4 seconds.
Because there's
6 seconds is a long shot in like Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
In like the Bourne movies. Like, come on. Like that's it. It pushes the pacing forward and everything, and keeps everything moving and grabs you like that. It's action. Action. Yeah, so like Robert Rodriguez is very well rounded. He knows action. And go watch you some El Mariachi and Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Like, go watch some movies. Death Proof.
Desperado's on Netflix. I was literally going to watch it before I came here, but I was like, no, if I do this, I will not leave.
He is one of my favorite directors, and he's got another show, The Director's Chair with Robert Rodriguez, where he sits down with his director friends and basically just interviews them on the craft of film. Like, the dude knows his shit. Like, he knows his shit. Like, don't you ever say in my presence, Robert Rodriguez doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, the entire season was kind of like using Godfather 2 as a
staging room, a backdrop.
Well,
template.
A template. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I've worked long hours this week and my brain is slow.
I got you.
I have an excuse every week, but one day I'll catch up. So, anyways, the fact that there were 7 episodes, like, to me, that's like, okay, something's, because there's usually either 6 or 8 or 10. Like 7. When was the last time you ever watched a show that had 7 or an odd number episodes like that?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
been a while. So to me, it seems like there's something missing, and so it seems like to me, it seems like he wrote out this amazing, gritty, underbelly, crime-centered thing, and Disney was like,
no,
let's make him lovable. And he's like, it's a crime syndicate? Because, like, one of the big complaints is, like, he's a crime boss of no crime. And even Finnick is like, like giving him like dirty looks here and there, and like I got some theories about that, but so yeah, I mean, I think it had massive potential, and it looks like because when this came out, they really fronted the fact that it was written and directed by Robert Rodriguez, like the Robert Rodriguez, and that in itself tells you that they're looking for dirty and gritty and action, and because that's what he does best. Like he's really good at that.
Yeah, it definitely had elements of it throughout the entire show.
Yeah, so I mean, I think you take that last scene where Fennec takes out the big bosses in that scene, like that is the most violent thing. I think the entire series was that right there, and he was able to keep that. Because she's an assassin. That's what that's the first time you've seen her be an assassin on the show.
She red hooded, not Anakin. Anakin's not that quiet. She red hooded them. I was about to say she's gonna Batman them, but Batman does not hang a person. she hugged that man.
Yeah.
I'm like
effectively, like she was. None of them were that effective the entire series, the entire show.
And you know the last guy's always super terrified because he's the last one, so he's like, shoot randomly, hopefully I hit something.
Yeah.
And then he gets,
Yeah, so I think the entire, like that scene had a completely different feel, and it almost seemed like it was even filmed differently. Like it had a different tone to it, like a grittiness to it, like a film grain on it. And so I mean, I don't know if it was just because it was dark or whatever. Anyways.
All right, I'm gonna throw this at you. All right. So what? Going off the different film grain and how the room was like really dark, and they are they were the main bosses. They're the bad guys in the darkness. So then she goes into the darkness, goes back into the darkness, kills them, and then when she went back up the steps and she opened the door, it was bright, like blindingly bright. Yeah. And then so she steps back into the light.
Yeah,
back into
metaphor.
Yeah,
very nice. So I think the entire show was probably that type of stuff. But
boy,
and also with a great story for Boba Fett and all this stuff. But I think that Disney got involved and things started falling apart, and Robert and whoever called Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and was like, look, I can't get them off my back. You guys, you've done wonders. Like Mando. Yeah. It had more violence and grittiness and dark, like than the book of Boba Fett that was about a crime boss. You know what I mean? I know that that Mando is a bounty hunter, but like this like for whatever reason, like the intro that we had was him sitting on the throne, and we were led to believe that this is going to be a crime syndicate show.
Yeah, and I mean,
and it wasn't. Like it was like the rebirth and the redemption of Boba Fett, and that was not at all what we thought it was going to be. So I think that there was some studio hands in that. I don't know if it was Disney or Kathleen Kennedy or whoever. I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but I think that in order to salvage the show, that's why we had those random out of the blue episodes come in that was like directed by Dave Filoni and written by Jon Favreau, like that just kind of like picked up out of it and dropped in out of place.
It was a hard setup for season 3 of The Mandalorian. I think going along with the studio hands, kind of like starting to poke at stuff. I think I had my train of thought. I think I remember what I was gonna say. I don't think they want a the type of show that he was gonna do, as far as like the Crime Boss Syndicate, like it actually being about Boba Fett not being an actual.
I mean, there were grittier episodes of Clone Wars too.
Oh, there were some messed up episodes of Clone Wars.
But it's animated. You can get away with stuff, but I
you can get away with so much, so much stuff.
some dark episodes.
Boy, howdy. Oh, we'll get into that maybe, but I don't think they want characters that are the non-force using type to be that kind of person. I guess that makes sense. The only truly evil or bad characters they want is a Sith.
I don't know. Cad Bane was.
They had Cad Bane, but Cad Bane was super likable. Like, I mean,
he's a gunslinger.
He's a gunslinger. He's the fastest draw in the galaxy.
Still.
he didn't lose in a shootout.
Dude is. I think they said he was like 71 at this point.
Yeah.
But I don't know how long the Duros live.
I don't know either. First one I seen. So yeah, but Cad Bane, he's lived through everything, and through his tenure, he was just like a fan favorite character, was still like being bad, but he was bad with honor. Unless
he did raise up Boba Fett too.
Yeah, and then he even he was antagonizing, but he told him about what happened with the folks that he never knew about.
Yeah, he was trying to draw him out. Like mentality or something.
Yeah.
All I can think of that meme is like, I smell you.
Because I mean, thinking back, but this is when George Lucas had it. Han Solo was not a good person, but as edits went on through the movies and everything, they made him a good person, and they even in Solo.
But
he didn't even land on the same ground that like the episode 4 original.
I mean, there's a whole thing about Solo because like obviously in the first movie, Han shot first, right? And then George Lucas edited it to the point because he didn't want Han to be a murderer. He didn't want him to to shoot first. So he just, I mean, still to this day, every time the thing comes out, there's an edit in that scene. So,
yeah. So it's fine. But
Boba Fett, obviously.
And they wanted him to be a bit more marketable. I feel like.
I don't know. Like, bruh.
Everybody
already loves him.
I know, and
like,
I don't.
Why?
I don't think we're ever going to get like
somebody just overthought it. You know what I mean? And the big joke is, oh wow, he got just as much screen time in his own show as he did on regular Star Wars.
Yeah, that's funny, sad. And I don't think they're ever going to give us like a Star Wars show or movie that's like anything above PG-13. Because
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, but
he can do a lot in PG-13.
He can, but in the Star Wars world, because I mean the new Batman's PG-13, and it's gonna he's gonna punch a man 50 times in the face.
I mean, like Infinity War, that was dark, really dark, PG-13.
But also it was more of the actual bad guy doing the thing. So I don't think they want someone who's the face of a show to be doing that extra dirty. I mean, it's fine.
Well, maybe there's just not that much character development for Boba Fett.
I mean, Boba the Raider, I love that. I love that a lot. It opened up, it turned some things for the Tusken Raiders canon, which thanks for keep doing that. So Tusken Raiders, they said they're like in separate tribes, and each tribe is kind of
they're
different.
basically the Native Americans of Tatooine.
Of Tatooine. It also, like in a comic from I think like the 80s after Return of the Jedi, it was actually talked about Tatooine before this weird, crazy event happened where it turned into a desert planet. It was just a literal ocean planet.
Yeah, they kept alluding to that, and even mirroring that with Mandalore, where it was like Boba was afraid that it was going to happen again, that the spice trade was basically going to destroy that planet, his new home.
Yeah.
Like Mandalore was destroyed, or like it had been destroyed in the past. Because even at the very end, when forget the guy's name, the major domo, the mayor's major domo, was quoting what Boba had written in his little book there.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how their dead bodies would replenish and renew Tatooine.
Yeah, and I think that was him just say I'm about to get revenge from my folks.
Yeah, and so I mean, that's the Boba we know. You know what I mean? That's the Boba we expected and we hoped for, but the whole time it was just kind of like, I don't know what you want to do. Like, I think I might, support some folks or get rid of some spice.
And then at the
or it'd be like, I'm gonna do this. It's like, that's not a good idea. Okay, cool. Let's do what you think.
Yeah.
Like I understand that. I mean, he's growing as a character and as a person, and learning to trust and rely on others, and that makes him strong. But it got very muddy.
And then it was the thing of he knew who he didn't want to be, and then a lot of options came at him all at once. So it felt like he was kind of spinning spinning in a direction and then kind of just making a circle, ultimately. Because he knew he didn't want to be like Jabba.
Yeah.
He
didn't want to be like his dad.
Didn't want to be like his dad.
Just another gunslinger that died in the field.
Boy, did he die. God dang. I honestly thought Cad Bane was gonna pull out a lightsaber. I really did. I didn't know where he would have got it from, but I was like, this man's gonna pull out a green lightsaber. I just feel like it. I hope he doesn't.
Speaking of, I cannot think of the actor's name. It starts with a T. That plays Boba Fett and all the clones. Him and oh my God, Ming-Na Wen were on some show and they were talking. They were being interviewed. And he was talking about how he wanted. Oh God, I am losing. Mace Windu to come back so he could murder him. He's like, yeah, he's going down for my dad. He's going down. Like talking about him like in present tense. So people were kind of like, is Mace Windu coming back? Which would be awesome because I mean we could even get into theories of like who rescued Grogu.
Who rescued?
Like how he got rescued, and
that was
possible.
So. Let's go ahead and get into it. In the two Mando Fett episodes, he went to the planet that will one day be destroyed, where the Jedi Temple. Okay, hold on. Yeah. He went to the planet Luke is building his Jedi Temple there, where it will one day be destroyed by Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo.
Technically destroyed by Snoke. Lightning bolt from Snoke and Emperor. There's a lot of backstory in the comics that I haven't read the comics. I'm sure you have.
I've read the comics.
Okay.
Luke bodies the Knights of Ren before Kylo Ren turns, and Kylo Ren's like, "Dang, my uncle's strong." It's whatever. I hate it.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
That stuff needs to be retconned. I want to see it live action.
Like, he single-handedly for a couple panels, he didn't even have his lightsaber out. Then he's like, all right, there's 7 of them now. And I'm like, oh.
Just go ahead and cast Sebastian Stan as young Luke and show us Luke building the academy up until that point, and explain, like, show us the fall of Luke, like how he got to where he is in the new series, in the new trilogy.
Yep.
Like, I mean, just show us how he got there. Like,
and why was he wearing ceremonial robes at the end of 7?
Just, I mean, if they could do that, if they could Dave Filoni that shit,
Yeah,
that
they
would,
can.
I mean, literally, that would, I mean, so I think it's a very, very smart strategy for them to be doing what they're doing with Mando and going and showing the in-between times of the Empire's fall and all these things, and even going back and showing Ahsoka and Luke and all these side quests building up to and in the process redeeming all these things that flopped.
Yeah.
Because if they were to bring the Crimson Dawn in, they could redeem Solo
Yep.
and finish that story and bring back Darth Maul.
Yep. Yeah. Have you
Because-
watched Rebels?
No, but I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He's still out there at this point.
he's still out there at this exact moment.
Yeah.
And there's 3 questions I have involving Darth Maul. 1, does he ever meet Luke? Wait, no, he's dead.
That's wait a minute.
He died before episode 4.
Yeah, that's right. Because that's right. Because
Yeah.
Obi-Wan is going back in time
Yep.
from where we are. So
I had to think about who killed him. It was like,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan killed him. Oh, that was my point that I was thinking on my way over here.
Okay.
A lot of people have died on Tatooine. A lot of people.
Yeah.
Darth Maul's died on Tatooine. Now we're adding Cad Bane to the list. Jabba died on Tatooine.
Cad Bane might not be dead.
Cad Bane might not be dead.
He always comes back, but that last moment, that red dot on his chest was still blinking.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
So dude might not be dead. And if he's dead, I'm really disappointed. Because, yeah, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane. Dang. Okay.
He was
well,
defeated.
he was beaten.
That's fair. Yes.
He's been beaten before. They always mess
And I
him
wish
up.
they would have alluded to the fact that he's the one that put the dent in
With
Boba's
his head.
helmet.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch Clone Wars, you know. Yeah,
Well, I mean, that scene was cut.
in Clone Wars?
It was a pre-res scene that they were doing. I think they said like season 6 or season 5,
Mm-hmm.
and it never actually got put into the show.
I remember watching.
They
yeah,
showed it at like one of the
and it was like
Comic-Cons or
unfinished.
something.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember watching it now. Yeah, because he was like he just finished his armor and he was like in his where he would be wearing in like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and stuff. And then, yep.
Yep, and that's also why Cad Bane had a metal plate on his head, because
Yep.
Boba got him in the head too.
Yep.
They basically shot each other in the same spot.
Star Wars is always master versus apprentice.
Yeah.
Always.
It's like poetry.
9 times, Dylan.
It rhymes.
9 times this is poetry. But back to flashback. So we are on planet Luke Temple. Luke is training Grogu. We get some better looking Luke Skywalker stuff. I didn't mind it in the end of season 2 of Mandalorian, but even still, it was really
It did its job.
yeah.
I still was hella excited.
Yeah, super yeah. And this was like, what are they doing? What time machine do they get? How much money is this? This is where the rest of the budget went. I see. So,
And one of the guys that did the face swap and made it better online is one of the guys they hired and is
That's
doing
why.
it now. And that's why it looked good. Still had a little wonky parts because it's a digital puppet, but
Yeah.
it looked light years better.
yeah, and he was moving a lot.
So much
I
better.
I expect. But yeah, so Luke tapped into Grogu's memories, and he's like, "Let's remember your planet." And Grogu's like, "Wait, what planet? You mean Coruscant?" And then just nothing but clones. And I'm like, "Oh, hey, those are actual clones. Oh, hey,
Yeah,
those
that was
are
Vader's
actual
fist, right?
clones." Yep, that's the 501st. All of y'all are gonna be dead soon. This is very sad. Everyone in this scene except Grogu is dead, and when you pan over to Grogu, it looks like he's in his little carriage because there's a blanket around him and it's red. But then
And also, one of the first point of view shots, there's a little something at the bottom. I don't know if he's like looking over the top of his little carriage or something.
yeah, or something, because and I don't know if he's
Something.
Something.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories going on.
A lot of theories.
The one I like the most right now is that Mace Windu is. This came from New Rockstars, and it's a little bit mixed with Screen Crush. So Mace Windu, several Jedi. I mean, everybody's kind of like of the mind that Mace Windu didn't really die in the fall, even though, I mean, we've seen Anakin just jump out of a speeder on Coruscant.
Vader's falling.
They catch themselves falling
like
all
that.
the time. No big deal. Mace was a badass, and
hand or not, you can still the force on the ground and break your fall.
Yeah, exactly. So probably not dead. I mean, he might have been injured.
Yeah.
But
lost a hand for sure.
Yeah. So he could have potentially. So if Grogu was there at the Jedi Temple, nobody else was aware because Ahsoka didn't know about him.
Mm-hmm.
Luke didn't know about him.
Ahsoka was gone.
Yoda didn't seem to know about him. He may have. He didn't mention him. None of the other ones that we've seen, Anakin didn't know about him. So otherwise, he would have been dead. He would have known his significance. It's like. So, and Palpatine probably didn't know about him.
No.
Otherwise, he would have made sure, I assume.
The Empire found out about him at some point. Don't know how. Don't know who.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, he ended up in the Empire's hands.
Yeah.
He's going to be like an Ahsoka character that kind of weaves in between all these things. He doesn't really change any plot lines that are already established.
He might make a few things make more sense. Mm-hmm. But other than that, yeah.
So I like the theory that Mace was aware because he was one of the High Council members, one of the masters. So, unlike Anakin. So I like the theory that he survived and he knew what was going down, so he came back to get Grogu and put him in R2's
head chassis.
Yeah. And if you like the way they showed it, did you watch that video where they show like the size of Grogu and the size of R2's
chassis?
Yeah, I can't.
Tube.
Yeah, the tube, like the main compartment. Like it's the same size. He could have easily fit in there.
Yeah.
Fit in there.
They put him in a thing.
Yeah. So like when he's looking out, he could be very well looking at like part of
out of R2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, so there's two other main things that make it seem like that. And Dave Filoni is a master at weaving in between. I mean, like the Ahsoka character, like completely invented by him, and such a huge, profound effect of not changing, but recontextualizing some things.
Ahsoka was on episode 3. Mm-hmm. And it's you see it on the Clone Wars side of it, but once you know exactly like where you're looking at, and like then you go watch episode 3, it changes like everything.
Wow. Because
like you see them get off of a call, and you just kind of see the silhouette, and then like they get onto another call. They were talking to Ahsoka before they start talking to Obi-Wan, and I'm like, oh,
that's pretty cool. See, like that type of stuff is why this theory could work, because if he was inside of R2 in that little flashback, we see 3 Jedi defending whatever him, obviously, and and they fall, but the 501st, they don't say go get him or the child or anything like that. They basically just say go, and it's like they're just running past whatever they see. Yeah. If they're looking at a Yoda-looking baby in a carrier, like wide open, one of them's going to be like, "What the hell is that?" I mean, somebody's going to say something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Yoda, obviously, Jedi. Yoda and Yaddle are the only
2 of their race.
Yeah, they're so much. I mean, it's so mysterious. The race isn't even named on purpose. Like George Lucas refused to name the race because he wanted it to be mysterious. Nobody knows what happened to Yaddle, I think, at this point. It's
not canon anymore. Before Disney bought, there was a I believe it was a book about Yaddle. She went off to a mission after episode 1, and she ended up dying on the mission. And then that was it. It was just kind of more of a story about her. I also have a theory of like Yoda's race. Cool. But
So so if they were to see a child that looked like Yoda, like obviously their mind is going to go to Yoda and is like do something with that thing, right?
throw a grenade at it.
Yeah, get it or something. But they don't draw attention to it. They seem to just ignore it. So they could have very well just been, R2 right there. And so also in episode 3, when R2 goes out to
3PO.
Out to 3PO at Anakin's Naboo cruiser, he like out of the blue, he's just like excited about something, and C-3PO is like calming him down. It's like, oh, whatever, blah, 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 So he could be very well trying to tell him, hey, I've got some precious cargo or something.
I got a baby in my belly. We did it.
Yeah, and R2 has been very significant in things like that before.
Yeah.
He's played very big roles in big plot lines. So that's very possible. And just the fact that they keep showing us R2 with him.
Yeah.
And when they saw each other, it seemed like there was recognition there. Like they kind of knew each other.
Yeah. And of course, Grogu can't talk. So he's just like, well, he can't talk.
We can't understand R2, which is a huge, great plot device. To be like, you can say anything you want him to say.
So yeah, I mean, the R2 theory is a strong one. And if you want to lean into the Jedi theory, it would have to be like an actual Jedi Master. But who? Still could be Mace. It could be Yoda and Obi-Wan didn't come yet. They didn't come to the day after.
Yeah.
So it would have to...
There's another one with the chick with the Ahsoka's friend.
Oh, yeah.
Her master was the one with the diamonds on her chin. And
Okay.
on the wall, there's like her seal or her sigil or something like that.
And she got captured. Well, okay, hold on now.
But at the same time, so like some of this stuff, I haven't watched all of Clone Wars or Rebels yet. So I'm just taking people at face value. Screen Crush acted like it was pretty significant and it was like unique, and the fact that one of the Star Wars Wikipedia things before said it was her sigil, and then now suddenly say it's just a thing. But new, right? Don't die.
Something in my throat. I'm good.
That's what she said. Anyways, so New Rockstar said that it's insignificant. It's just kind of everywhere, and it's not necessarily tied to her specifically.
Okay.
But I don't know myself.
That'd be fine. Because, I mean, it'd be weird if it was. Jedi in the current age, in the Republic pre-Order 66, before the Battle of Yavin, if you want to go by year.
I say Ahsoka's friend, but she is the one that framed her. So, but
her master also had the diamonds across her face. It was kind of there.
And I think she had some like in honor of her or something like that.
Yeah. So Jedi
like tattoos or something
don't have sigils anymore. Before Qui-Gon and Dooku started. Like way back when Jedi,
High Republic.
like on High Republic, you had Jedi and then you had Jedi Lords. Jedi Lords were exactly that. They were lords. They ruled over a planet, and they wore like actual armor to fight. But that was also back during the Mandalorian Civil War, the Jedi-Mandalore War. As like they got further and further away after the Sith extinction, and the Sith went into hiding, starting the Rule of Two and all that, they became more of the peacemakers and stopped like, okay, we don't need to rule over planets. We can just kind of chill, and if anybody needs us, we'll show up. And that stuff. So that's when they got away from having like actual physical titles. So it would be weird.
So the lordships came with sigils and houses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to explore the High Republic and how they became, like, they no attachments, what I mean, whatsoever.
Something had to happen.
Yeah, because Ahsoka obviously doesn't believe that. Like, she refuses to train anybody. She's purged her sabers; they're white and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. She's basically a gray Jedi, and but Luke is still, even though he knows, and I mean, just the fact that him and Ahsoka met is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, hopefully, they've traded stories.
They definitely have.
And but for Luke to still be really on board with no attachments, and I mean, I know that scene where he's presenting Grogu with the Yoda's lightsaber, or
there's a whole thing about that.
Yeah, because I mean, no attachments, but here's my favorite master's sword.
So,
but I mean, it was an homage to Wolf and Cub, like one of the scenes. But at the same time, it's like people online are saying that only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Absolutes. Like, But so Lucas started.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Lucas started reading those ancient Jedi texts, so he's.
You think they would rebalance him and not make him double down?
He doubled down super hard for whatever freaking reason.
Yeah. Which, at the same time, how do you train your nephew and not say, "Oh, sorry, nephew, no attachments"?
you like, hey, train my nephew. I don't want to mess him up.
Like, there's obviously like some line of attachments, because the Padawan master bond is very strong.
Yeah. And especially like you're out there, you see your nephew training, he hits a kick flip and knocks a kid out, and like throws his lightsaber and like catches it with like a blindfold on, and be like, yeah, that's my nephew. It's good job. Mm-hmm. You're definitely
gonna. Or do you just suppress it like, no, that's bad. That's bad.
Yep.
Don't think that.
And then your nephew gets angry, and he's like teenage angst. It's like, why don't you ever say I do a good job? Mm-hmm. And then you lightsaber fight on a volcano. Yeah. So there we go.
And then he beats up a computer panel with his lightsaber later on, because he's still angsty in his 20s. Explains a lot of why he is the way he is. Like,
yeah.
He just wanted to be accepted.
Making everybody at work uncomfortable.
No. I don't know who that is. I'm not Kylo Ren.
Hilarious.
Kylo Ren's a punk.
It could be another high. This is where we started. It could be another high-level Jedi Master, along with, like, using the same theory with Mace Windu, but the second the other Jedi start to fall, like, I think that, like, moment of, like, they're looking and they're about to, but the Jedi Master, like, mind tricks all of them at the same time, and then they don't see anything right there, and they're just standing there.
Oh, that's possible too.
And then they just go around.
Yeah, I mean, that's very possible too.
Yeah.
But so there's another theory that it's the librarian.
Yep.
Because she did later on save some of the Padawans and kind of keep track of them. But in the comics, there's no Grogu to be found in that group, so that kind of cancels that out.
Not necessarily. She could have lost him for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It's a possibility, because whatever point we see Grogu in the first episode of The Mandalorian, he has either been passed around by, like, other groups and things. He was in the Empire's hands at some point in time, and probably after the destruction of the second Death Star, he was lost. And he could have been taken at some point too. Somehow, some way, he got separated from wherever he was.
Yeah.
And we just don't know how he got there yet.
He's definitely the missing link.
Yeah.
in where Star Wars that connects everything, because obviously we know that somehow Palpatine survived, and he was working on clones and all this stuff. That's where Snoke was and all this stuff, but we see all that in Mando. It's like that's why they were after Grogu.
Yep. Because they need the high metachlorian count to stabilize the cloning process, so that the clone can all right, you can hold a soul, or whatever the equivalent of Palpatine.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like it's really smart as a company for Star Wars to go back and retcon or recontextualize some things and kind of explain in a smart way. Dave Filoni's a perfect one to do it, obviously. To basically take the Clone Wars did it for the prequels, so these could be doing it for the new series and explaining how we got there and recontextualizing some things so that when we go watch it again, it blows our mind. It's like, oh, that's why. Da 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 da.
Yeah, it could. Will it? Hopefully.
I think it'd be a really smart strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, they're obviously, like they said, they were done with the Skywalker saga, and we've seen Luke a couple times already again.
Hi.
Yeah.
He just appears as hi.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Sebastian Stan said never say never about playing young Luke.
There are some interesting stories, even though we know how Luke's story is going to end, and I'm still I'm cool. But if it happens, I'll watch it. Because there are some stories of
I mean, if we... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The story of him going to Vader's castle on Mustafar, finding Obi-Wan's lightsaber there, because that's where Vader took it afterwards. How he got Yoda's lightsaber, because Yoda didn't have his lightsaber.
Yoda reconstructed it, though, in the comics.
Which comics?
The new ones. The ones, yeah. There was one...
the Luke Skywalker comic.
There was one comic where Yoda was on Dagobah, and in that little box, he had all the pieces. And so it's assumed that he had, because so he, at some point he lost it, but he must have gone and got all the pieces back. So either he reconstructed it or Luke did.
For him to go back to get all the pieces back, he would have to go to Coruscant. In the Emperor's palace.
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy, but also he is the most powerful Force user in the galaxy until Luke, until Luke becomes a full-blown Jedi Knight. Because then Luke is stronger than Yoda.
Really?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's just
Luke.
How? Why?
If you were a power scaler, Luke was above Yoda, and it's ridiculous.
How old was Luke when he died?
It is 50, 60,
maybe?
Yeah.
Luke, Yoda was 800.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Over all this time, Yoda was just lazy.
So, yeah. It was... Boy, howdy. So, there are other stories to tell. It would be interesting if we got a little hour long Yoda thing just to show what he did. We probably will in Kenobi, because they're going to do that one thing that they probably shouldn't do, but they're definitely going to do, and Kenobi's going to leave Tatooine.
Yeah.
But if they're going to do what I think they're going to do, which they should do, so pay me my check now, please, and introduce a second apprentice to Obi-Wan Kenobi. It would be another Jedi.
Well, they're also saying that this is a limited series, that it's not going to...
That's fine. You can have a
Book of Boba Fett might also be a limited series. They haven't confirmed a season 2.
Okay. That's fine. I feel like we're going to get a
Star Wars. They've already confirmed Andor has a season 2, even though season 1 hadn't come out yet.
I honestly believe that we're going to get a character introduced in Obi-Wan that we are going to, probably a couple, that we're going to see in season 3 of Mandalorian, because this is the only reason I say that. he's gonna have to learn how to actually use his lightsaber. He does not know how to fight with it. And he knows Jedi know how to fight with it. Luke isn't going to teach him. Ahsoka's going to flip him off and then be like, why do you have Grogu? Give me the child. And he'd be like, no. And then she's going to cut his hands off. And then
I don't think she cares he's got the child.
Maybe. She's like...
I don't know, but what's-her-face is coming back for that sword.
Yeah, Bo-Katan?
Yeah,
Bo-Katan's
Bo-Katan is
definitely coming for the sword. And
That
Bo-Katan
is
knows...
also, that is the dark saber behind me.
And
I won it in battle.
Bo-Katan knows how to use the sword, and we'll probably see Sabine Wren, and we'll probably see Ezra, but we might see those in
And Thrawn.
And oh yeah, we're gonna see Thrawn. She didn't say anything to Luke about Thrawn, or we don't know she didn't. She could have just been popping in.
Like, that's what she was doing last time we saw her in Clone Wars, right?
Yeah,
She was hunting Thrawn. Thrawn had disappeared. He
yeah.
was saved by, like, space whales or something, right?
Well, so the end of Rebels. I'm gonna have to spoil this for you, Dylan. I'm sorry.
Oh, we said spoiler alert.
Yeah. So the
Even
end
for me.
the end of
Or Rebels, yeah, not Clone Wars.
Thrawn and Ezra were on,
That's right, they were together, and she was asking about Ezra.
and Ezra called in the space whales, who the reason they figured these whales who are force sensitive are like the craziest thing though, because the way that they figured out how to like do hyperspace is because of these whales.
What?
Because the whales can hyperspace on their own.
That's nuts.
Yes.
That's nuts.
So-
Star Wars is crazy,
Star
dude.
Wars is so crazy.
Like,
So he
I
like,
want to hear about the place between worlds too. Like, hear that story.
oh boy, howdy. Oh, so much cool stuff.
Ahsoka's gonna be nuts.
It's gonna be
so
it's
good.
gonna be lore heavy every episode, nothing but. So Ezra calls in. He hits his little whale pager. They come in, start literally tangling up star cruisers and breaking them apart. They get on Thrawn's cruiser, bust in the window of like 3 of them because it's bigger, obviously. And Ezra's like, "No, fam, we gotta go." And then they grab the cruiser and they hyperspace out. And that's it. That's the last time you see Thrawn and Ezra.
So, how come nobody else has ever done the whale call before?
Because I guess they haven't met him. In all honesty.
Ex Machina.
Because, I mean, there are, like what Grogu did, actually. In all honesty, yeah. Grogu calmed down the Rancor by, like, just mentally connecting with it and putting it to sleep. Yeah. Ezra, that's kind of his deal. He always like mentally connects with these force sensitive animals, and then he's just like, what? And then they just like they show up. It's like, fam, what you need? Oh,
I can't decide if that's a special effect, a sound effect, or a language.
Depends on the animal. True. So, yeah, that's kind of like his like speciality, and we've seen other Jedi and various other things with special abilities like that besides the normal stuff. Like, we'll go way back. Force Unleashed Starkiller has a dumb amount of just like forced ability that he can just control because he can yank a Star Cruiser out the sky. Luke also can yank a Star Cruiser out the sky. It's freaking ridiculous. And
Leia can fly.
Leia can fly. Leia has enhanced healing abilities that allow her to breathe in space, because the only other Jedi able to do that was Plo Koon. Mace had insane.
Not even Darth Plagueis the Wise could do that.
Not even Darth Plagueis the Wise. Mace could bend the force around his knuckles and use the Jedi martial arts to like whoop up on somebody.
Wow. I don't know that I've ever seen come to think of it, I don't know that I've ever seen a Jedi like fist fight.
You don't want to. It's very brutal.
Visceral.
They don't play. It's
We've talked about Star Wars, everything around Boba Fett. This is basically turned into just like the show.
yeah.
This makes perfect sense why Boba Fett was like it was.
Then you get to the last one. Hey y'all, we're on episode 7. Oh shit. Okay.
We've got to stop. 7's a good number. It's a nice round number. Number of perfection.
So, but there were. Wait, there's one more. Cal Kestis can peer into memories of the past. Like if he finds like these senses, these like force fragments, and he can connect to it, and then he can see whatever memory or strong emotion is connected to that. Like a Bluetooth. He Bluetooths memories. So yeah. And
so much more lore that I need to get into.
Oh, there's so much, Dylan. This is 15
Like
years
it's
worth
the
of
perfect,
stuff.
yeah, it's a perfect time because they're just now starting to rewrite the expanded universe.
Mm-hmm. Give me that Star Wars Avengers movie. Maybe, I don't know. Depends.
I mean, Kevin Feige still is working on his Star Wars movie. Remember?
oh
Remember
yeah,
that?
oh yeah.
And Patty Jenkins, her Starfighter. I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, her movie I think is on hold right now because of COVID or whatever. I don't know exactly, but yeah.
I got a Star Wars movie
As far
if
as
y'all want to give me money.
movies, like that's. I mean, who knows if shoot, what's his name? Knives Out. Ryan Johnson's
Johnson?
still getting his trilogy. Who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I from what I understand, they were done with the Star Wars saga and they were going to start doing High Republic now, and they've kind of done that some of the books,
Yeah.
some of the new books, and it's a really interesting era to contrast and compare to,
Yeah.
current Star Wars stuff and how Jedi work now, but it seems like Mando has kind of changed course again.
Yeah, it's taken the wheel. Mm-hmm. It's because I don't think they expected it to be what it's become. It's a freaking it's what people think of when they think of Star Wars now, and it's rebuilding. 'Cause Star Wars is one of those fan bases where they get butthurt real hard.
Yeah.
And it's rebuilding the fan base and bringing new people in. And I think it's eventually going to get to a point where they then can jump back off and get into trying to get folks to go back into the theaters to see the stuff. But I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Star Wars on TV for a while.
Yeah, I'm curious where. So Andor obviously takes place before Rogue One because
Andor, that's that guy. That's that one guy. Oh,
Cassian Andor.
yeah. I'm cool. I mean, I know two things that's gonna come from that show: a French accent in space, and more of Saul Guerrero.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they had Saul Guerrero in the finale, they would have known to just roll those grenades up under the force field.
Super, yeah. I was like, Boba Fett, you were in the Clone Wars. You were there. Why don't you remember how to fight these? But it could be, and I don't even want to justify
that finale was kind of all over the place. I mean, the fight choreography was like...
Bro, literally, I'm
like they were Power Rangers. Literally did a Power Ranger spin. Like I feel like some of it was set up, and then like I feel like the first before Cad Bane showed up, all that had been filmed a long time ago, and I feel like somehow they knew exactly what the fans were going to be saying, and so they had the finale and right before the finale. Basically just laughed at everything that came before. and they were like, "Oh, the mods are like Power Rangers. Cool, we're gonna have him do a spin and shoot somebody." And Cad Bane's be like, "Or just run off back to your bacta tank."
One of them's constantly, every time a shot goes out, Shimon!
Shimon! Oh my god.
He goes, "Hey, are you okay? Are you okay?"
Oh, you got me. Poor Annie.
The scooter gang was in full force.
Somebody explained how like the mods actually made sense because they seemed really out of place for Tatooine. Mm-hmm. They were more like Coruscant fare, right? Mm-hmm. But if you look at like the logic behind why they put them in there, because like they're inspired by the British mod scene right after I think like World War II or no, it wasn't World War II. It was like in the 60s. So around like the whole
not Cold War,
Vietnam War and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which was Britain even in the Vietnam War? I don't think so. No. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know their allies, but
no.
But yeah, so after in the post-war movement, that's where they came from, and it was bright and individuals. Like they even had like their speeder bikes looked just like the mod bikes with all the mirrors and everything, and it was really interesting because in Star Wars, being part machine was always bad, always bad. Like, I mean, like even Obi-Wan was like, you know, he's more machine than man now, you know, and that represented kind of the same thing it did in Lord of the Rings, where it was like the machine, you know, of war and that type of thing, and it was
loss of humanity, and
the loss of humanity and anti-nature and all that kind of stuff. But it's now being recontextualized to where they're embracing that. And it's interesting, but to see it on Tatooine is kind of like, are you telling me these kids like are watching like indie films from Coruscant or something and going, "Oh, that's super cool. We're gonna have that here." You know what I mean? I mean, it's like being a small town kid. That's what it's like. Oh, they're doing this in New York. It's like I'm gonna dress like that or whatever. You know?
I feel like in all honesty, they got the influence to do it from somewhere, but also they probably are low-key dirt poor. No puns intended.
Well, I don't know, because all that stuff, like they talked about how expensive all that stuff was and how much they paid for it.
But they've always lived on Tatooine. Yeah. So I'm like,
where are they getting this money from?
Stole it. Real talk, probably stole it.
I mean, that's what I assumed, but Scad, the guy that did the little spin, he was talking about how expensive his eye was.
Yeah.
How much he paid for it. It was
so, I honestly think they probably stole it, but they could have.
I mean, I would assume that.
How old are they?
But like some pieces
20s?
don't fit.
Are they in their 20s?
It seemed that way.
Because they could have been. We don't know how long the mod movement on Tatooine's been going on.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, and also, so just to have it said, but the parallel between the fall of the Empire and the new scene now.
Yeah. Because they could have been stealing it from, they could have been little kids like stealing it from Jabba when he was around, and then Odu after, because he was just a spineless twig. I don't know what word I was about to say before that. So they could have been stealing, and then Boba Fett came in, and
I mean, are these people like idolizing Vader and how cool he was? I don't know.
Nope, there's a cult for that, and we don't need to see that cult, because they are also very messed up. Dylan, look at me. We don't need to see that cult. They were super hard. You think Palpatine was into the prophecy? You think Qui-Gon was into the prophecy? These guys on a whole different, let's go sacrifice babies level.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
They all went to the Outer Rim, though, to join Palpatine, apparently.
Apparently.
Yeah, because there was stadiums full of folks.
I thought I was seeing things. I honestly didn't know what was in the stands. Whoops. I honestly didn't know what was in the stands. And I was like, what is it? Are those like actual people? Because they didn't do anything.
No more rule of two.
No. And I wish that they would have, I don't know. And then for his son not to be it, you have to learn how to shut yourself off from the Force. There have been Jedi that are able to do it, but you have to learn how to do it. And it's a point of rejection to once you let it back in, there's a physical effect on your body.
He acted like he could just turn on and off like a faucet.
A faucet that's like always on high. I'm gonna punch Star Wars. I'm now back.
It's like the thing you love to hate, right? So we got some really, really cool cameos. We got, of course, Robert Rodriguez played the voice of the mayor, and Jon Favreau was the voice of the Mandalorian that challenged Mando.
Wasn't he in the armor?
I don't know if it was actually. I mean, he's an actor too.
Yeah,
right? Might have been, but I know he did the voice.
Okay.
Who was like the from the house?
He was the descendant of Vizsla.
Yeah.
House Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla or something like that.
The first Mandalorian Jedi. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Who was a Jedi and a Mandalorian?
Yeah, you know how ridiculous that is. Who fought with
it's
Mandalore.
happened before. I mean,
yeah. What? What do you mean it's happened before?
Well, I'm just saying somebody's been a Mandalorian and a Jedi. Yeah. Luke is like, choose.
Yeah, Luke's just petty.
So yeah, that's another thing. Do you think he was just matter of fact, or he was being petty by not returning Grogu himself?
Petty.
Think he's being petty?
I think he's being very petty. Because he's his first student. He's like, I saved you. Why do you want to go back to your dad?
That's why they didn't show Luke just throwing things like, ah!
I didn't know my dad until I was 25. Grogu's like, because he can't talk.
I'm 50, yo.
I'm 55. He's telepathically talking. What do you mean you're 55? How? You're a baby.
Show me the baby.
And I think Grogu's going to end up going back. If not to Luke, to perhaps this other Jedi that also was trained by Obi-Wan that survived.
I mean, Ezra Bridger's still out there, too.
Ezra Bridger's still out there. And Ezra don't care. Ezra's like, I'm going to have a whole wife. This girl on the ship this whole time, I'm going to be hitting on her every second I get.
I mean, Obi-Wan did. Yeah, a mate too, you know.
Yeah. Jedi be some hypocrites sometimes.
Yeah. A lot.
His master has a whole child. His master has a kid. I mean, Anakin has a kid. But yeah, his master has a whole kid.
I don't know. I mean, where did Grogu come from? Is he the child of Yaddle and Yoda?
Hi, you ready?
Yeah. So, tell me.
All right. Here's my.
Hi, you ready?
All right. So all right. Yaddle and Yoda existed together for a very long time. The only two of their race that we've known of. Going based off the fact that we have not seen any more of them at all, I think wherever their planet is, there's just a whole field of eggs. And when one of them dies, another bursts out. Because there can only be two that exist at the exact same time. Rule of two, but with a whole race.
It's like poetry, man. It rhymes.
Except the only thing is, we know Grogu.
I mean, that's how George Lucas does things.
We know Grogu's a boy, right?
I mean, they've called him he before, yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Because if Grogu turns out to be a girl, which I don't think Grogu is, Groga, that she, them, Grogu. That then that I think my theory would become like completely correct. And so like if since Yoda died, another egg hatched, and there's another baby there, and it's just gonna
because Grogu's the same age as Anakin. Mm-hmm. Does that? So Grogu was around before Yaddle died, though, or disappeared.
Is he the same age as Anakin? Was Anakin 54? Wait, that doesn't feel
he's the
right.
same. He was born the same age as Anakin, is what I keep seeing, or the same.
Why do I feel like Vader? I don't know. Maybe I made Vader older in my head. Because Obi-Wan was in his 6, 7. It was 22 years.
He lived a hard life on Tatooine.
He lived a hard life on Tatooine, but it was 22 years.
It's like Dumbledore going from Jude Law to in 15 years.
I guess I got to figure out how old Obi-Wan was at the end of episode 3. Because it was 20. Because Luke was 22 when he left Tatooine. Huh. Okay. Well, maybe my theory is bust. Who knows?
I mean, maybe it's 3. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's 3.
I mean, 2 is like so poetic, though.
Yes. Because it doesn't.
But we don't know what happened to Yaddle.
We don't know what happened to Yaddle. And they're the only 2 of their race. I mean, there's a whole planet of black people. That's where Mace Windu's from. It's a jungle planet. Well, don't stop.
Oh, wow. Wow, the racism is real.
Mace Windu's brother is... Imagine Shaq, but he can use the Force and run like 40 miles an hour. Yeah, he's a monster.
Jeez.
That's basically Mace Windu's younger brother. Mace is the runt. That's what I said. So...
Is his brother more powerful in the Force than him, or is he just
God,
physical?
it's just like
Then
raw.
Why is he on the council?
His brother didn't want to be a Jedi.
Oh, he's just more sensitive.
Oh, he can use the Force. Like Mace's, like people can use the Force, but it's like it's not refined. It's just raw power.
Oh wow!
Like just imagine Kylo Ren or Rey just yelling. Like when she's up there yelling and she shocks the ship, it's just that.
Wow.
All the time.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So, Mace Windu survived.
Mace Windu probably survived.
He's powerful.
He's powerful. So, yeah. It's very, very, very funny. But yeah.
I'm waiting for that moment that it's from the shadows, purple.
What? What?
It's like a flashlight. My battery's dead.
And yeah, that'll be. It'll be really very cool. So.
I don't think Cad Bane is dead. Black Chrysanthemum is going to be cool showing up. Like another thing, Black Chrysanthemum, not just Chrysanthemum.
Because he's it?
He's everybody's new favorite Wookiee for sure.
Yeah, and black-haired Wookiees are kind of unique. Because most Wookiees you see are obviously brown hair.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So him being a black-haired Wookiee is like black and then name. So yes, Black Chrysanthemum. But I don't know why he kept his gladiator name. It was very strange.
I know. And another thing is, like, in the comics, him and Boba Fett knew each other. Like, they worked together.
Yeah.
Yet in the show, it was kind of like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. You know?
It's,
so,
it's
fuzzy.
Fuzzy areas. He definitely knew Cad Bane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they kept that true.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, maybe what's happened in the comics is loose lore.
Depending on where you are, I guess.
Yeah, because they're probably going to recontextualize. And once it hits live action, that's supposed to be
That's
canon.
it. It's canon. You get to see it. So,
yeah. So, it's gonna be cool to see him show up in other things too.
Yeah.
Just kind of pop in and out. Because he's gonna be a new favorite as well. Or he
yeah.
is already.
I would like to see him and Chewbacca meet again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Laser Knuckles. Chewbacca still alive. He's still out there.
He's just out there. Him and Han are doing scandalous things.
That's right, because in the new one, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, no, at this point,
Han's about to have a baby.
Yeah.
But they're about to
but he won't leave until after the fall of the Academy.
That's when they break up?
I think so. Like when he turned, that's when he couldn't handle it or something.
I would like to write the Han Leia breaking up. I really would, because I will make it messed up. Not messed up, but messed up. But not messed up. I'm going to introduce a whole new character that could have been in the movies, but whatever, it's fine. So along with, like, you know, Han, I'm just going to throw this out there, we're talking about Boba Fett, so might as well talk about Han Solo. Along with, like, Han still, like, let's just say he's sneaking off, him and Chewbacca, doing some smuggling jobs and everything, because he's also trying to find the Millennium Falcon. Mm-hmm. That's just on a desert planet. Don't know why he didn't check all the desert planets. Whatever. It's fine.
Is it Tatooine? No, it's a different one.
It's a different one.
Ray's on a different
Jakku.
planet. Jakku, yeah.
Yep. Why are there so many desert planets? That's the real question. So, yeah, he's out there.
Because only heroes come from desert planets.
I'm going to blow every single one of them up. That's what I do if I'm the villain. How many desert planets are there in the galaxy? 13. Start with the one on the left. So yeah, Han out there sneaking around, smuggling, while Leia's at home being a good wife and a mom. And
well, at this point, she's rebuilding the Republic too, isn't she?
Yep, and also still being a mom. And Han's like, I'm gonna go chill with Chewbacca. We'll be back. And then he ends up running into what's her face? You know her face. Daenerys, but not Emilia Clarke's character.
From Crimson Dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Ends up running into her. They get tangled into some stuff, like, and then Han keeps going back. The relationship between him and Leia start like really butting heads. Years kind of go by, and this is the point where Ben will end up going to the Academy with Luke. Han's a little, not too gray. He's a little older. Leia's a little older. Everybody can still have babies. Han's still messing around with the old girl, and now they're actually messing around. Then Har and Han end up having a baby. A Barbie. A whole Barbie. And then this, you know.
Ray.
Named Ray. Get out of here. And then, and then Leia finds out. They break up then.
That would be such a Han thing.
It would be a very Han thing. They break up then. He has a whole nother child that he just is like resenting.
But the whole time he knows who Ray is, but just never says anything.
Never says anything.
If it was Ray.
If it was Ray, but it's not.
In my head.
Why was she good at fixing ships, and why was that was? I'm gonna punch Star Wars, Dylan.
Oh, sorry, Ghosty. All right, so Cobb Vanth. Obviously gonna be RoboCop now.
Obviously gonna be RoboCop. Ow. Yeah.
He was shot in the shoulder.
We saw
that, but you know, they played with whether he was dead or not. Even though he was shot in the shoulder, I guess, I don't know, he's in the bacta tank.
You know how blasters work?
Well, they carterize, right?
Kind of. Depends on the blaster.
Oh.
So, remember that pitchfork blaster that Mandalorian had?
Pitchfork?
Not pitchfork. It's like a fork at the end of the thing, but it's a rifle. I can't remember the technical name of it. I'll pull it up later. But in season 1, he had a blaster like it hit you, and then that was it. You're just dust. That blaster was actually banned by the Empire because what it does, once it hits you, it melts all your organs. So once it hits, you're already dead. And then it
disintegrates you?
But disintegrates, but what's the word? Combusts. everything else.
Oh.
So that's why you actually disintegrate.
Oh, wow.
And so each blaster kind of has like its own thing that it does. Han's works like a magnum. It shoots, it goes through and just bursts, like it bursts in a little other blast while inside. And like that's how the blast goes. And so yeah, each blaster just kind of works like that. So it depends.
What
Because
kind of
his
thing shooting?
yeah, his was like actual 6 shooters, so he should be. he shot him. He shot old
Could have
dude.
blown his shoulder out.
He could have blown his shoulder out. He probably is gonna have a robot arm. But he shot old dude up. The other guy, who was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot him while I can.
Yeah, dude, I knew that guy was trouble as soon as he showed up.
Yep. So he's probably gonna all of this is probably not gonna be there no more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, I wonder if he's still going to be in Freetown or if he's going to be helping Mando
Boba
or
Fett.
Boba Fett.
I see him. I see.
Probably more Mando because that's who he's got connection with. I mean,
Yeah. But he's indebted to Boba Fett
Yeah.
for saving his life.
Yeah.
So I see him paying off his his debt to Boba Fett, if not making him the face.
The new. Oh well,
Yeah.
okay. Obviously, one of the last things that Boba Fett said was that that they're not suited for this, and Fennec was like, "Well, then who?"
Yeah.
And then, of course, we go to credits, and then we show
Yeah.
Cobb Vanth. So maybe him
Yeah.
running the underground,
Mhm.
or being the new sheriff in town, and Mos Eisley. Possibly, but I don't know. I kind of like the idea of them leaving and becoming a crew, and just going around doing crazy
stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
But-
Space adventures are always fun.
Yeah. If they do a season 2, I think Fennec might turn on him.
I don't know why she hasn't.
Yeah.
Because she's not obviously a love interest of any kind.
Yeah. I mean, she's paid her debt. Like, I mean, the whole reason she was there was like, I'll just stick around. But she's been his true north the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Bubba, we don't want to do that, you know. Otherwise, I mean, he would have been dead and gone. Like, stupid decisions, and she's been the bug in his ear. Even that, like, what, no spice? Like, well, maybe we should keep it, you know, going. We have, you know, bringing money in or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, and she's just kind of like, bruh.
How you expect
So-
to make money, fam?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what she makes money. That's what she does. And then she just went and took out all the leads of the spice ring. So I don't know. And then on top of that, after all that, he's like, you know, we're not suited for this. And she's just like,
We just fought a war, fam.
bruh.
Do you see these people picking stuff
I
up?
almost died. I died.
Yeah.
I mean, you put me back together, but that's the only reason she was still there.
So now I honestly think
I think they kind of nerfed her until the end there.
They did. Well, I don't think they didn't want. There was really nothing for her to fight. I mean,
She was just
There
his
was some-
counsel,
yeah.
pretty much.
That's kind of how he was just kind of making decisions because he didn't really fight until the end. He didn't do Boba Fett stuff until this
Yeah,
episode.
he was not equipped to do what he thought he was gonna do.
Yeah. He realized they hired the wrong person. And I either need more training or I need to find somebody else to do this job.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense that it would be Cobb Vanth to kind of, because the mayor's dead too. So like, put Cobb in the seat of the mayor, or even Pelly, who has all the connections and, you know, is now connected with. And she is taking a liking to the major domo, and they kind of link them up. So if she takes over the mayorship and Major Domo is her dude, then Cobb Vanth could be the sheriff and just kind of keep the town clean or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. Finnick, what would Finnick do? She seems like she would be more interested in.
It's kind of chill. Maybe.
That's why she stayed, because she was like, okay, well maybe.
She might go back to being.
Because he said something about, we work better together in our kind. We don't last very long, so we start making just choices for ourselves, and that's kind of why she stayed. But at this point, it's like, to what end?
Yeah.
Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So
I think she's interesting. There's a lot of interesting things. They kill, and he has complete control over Mos Espa and Mos Eisley, because she ended up killing all the heads of the other factions. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if other heads like pop up, they're not obviously like not gonna mess with them.
Yeah, literally, they just cleared the way for him to do the thing he wanted to do, and he's like, meh.
Yeah. The one thing I really want, if there is a season 2 or a limited whatever they do next, or even if it's just like Book of Boba Fett movie, I would like. What's happening? What happened?
Sorry, my mouse is not moving very fast.
Oh, I would like to see that, and I would like to see the interaction of Han after the fall of the Empire, and Boba Fett, because now he has a Wookiee too, and it could just be, I don't know if they're gonna fight or what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Or if they're gonna like make amends, because now Boba Fett's a completely different person.
Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously, he's more in line with Mando now, who is
Mando's about to go through some changes too.
Yeah. And so, like, Mando's going to figure out what's going on with Moff Gideon and his trial, and all that kind of stuff, and maybe even go back to Mandalore and try to redeem himself to find these living waters or whatever it is.
They exist.
Yeah.
They're under the ruins.
Yeah. So, I mean, the whole planet's not destroyed like they've said. I mean, it's still there, but...
Kind of.
I mean, parts of it.
Parts of it. Have you seen the planet before? Like after the Empire had their way with it?
No. I mean, they showed it. It looked. I mean, from what they showed in the show, it was like kind of like Terminator. Like where they're going through just blowing shit up.
So, back when they were testing the Death Star, to like the actual planet of Mandalore, they were like, hey, y'all need to comply or we're going to backhand you. And Mandalore, sitting up there like the angsty teenagers they are, just got on their jetpacks and flipped off the Empire. So the Empire said, cool, test out the Death Star on that planet. And they shot a laser. It didn't destroy the entire planet, but it broke the planet apart. Yeah. So you have a chunk of the planet over here, but over here though, it's just an asteroid field of death.
Interesting. Okay.
And on the non-destroyed side, you have the city. So I'll have to show you a clip later. So they had like a city that they were living in, which is basically like the big old giant dome that they showed, but that dome could have housed almost all of Coruscant because of like the structure of how it was built. There was just like layers within layers upon this mess. And they destroyed that. And they destroyed probably like 2 million people. Unless folks like got out.
Well, I mean, there was the faction that was on the moon. That's where,
there was
like,
the Death Watch.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's where. Sorry, Ghost. That's where. Frick, what's her face?
The Armorer.
The Armorer and I see her face.
Bo-Katan?
Bo-Katan and all them were at the time, right?
Yep. Well,
because they were part of the Death Watch.
They were part of the Death. Well,
which became the Watch, which are what
Yeah.
what was the group that fought for Mando in season 2.
So so you had the original solid Death Watch in Clone Wars. Maul came in, he killed Carl Vesla, and he took over Death Watch. Bo-Katan then was like, I don't like Maul, so I'm gonna dip out with the folks that's with me. And then she started to align with her sister.
Right. Yeah. Because some of them got started aligning with Darth Maul. Right.
So Death Watch got split in half. So you had the Bo-Katan side and you had the Maulers. And and then after Ahsoka beat Maul, then the Maulers kind of scattered, but scattered together, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
And then Bo-Katan was like, I have the royal blood, I guess I'll lead Mandalore. And then Order 66 happens, Empire, and then she's like flipping y'all off. Empire's like, okay. So Bo-Katan's also the reason that they did that.
Which is what the armor was saying, that she didn't earn it, earn the Darksaber. And also there's a theory because the armor also has the little horns on her helmet, so she could have been part of Maul's group at some point.
Well, she probably was, and just changed the color of her helmet. Because knowing now that the Mandalorian sect that we're looking at, or we were looking at, was probably the Maul half of the former Death Watch, changes a lot of things. Mando wasn't a good person.
Keep talking. I'm gonna get something real quick.
Okay. So we have a lot to look forward to with Mandalorian season 3. We have Book of Boba Fett. Overall, I think was a solid series. There's a lot of Star Wars lore and everything that they're dumping into these TV shows, and we could talk about it for literally hours. But what happened? Oh, hey us, hey me.
For some reason it opened up Discord. I don't know what happened.
Oh, that's weird. So yeah, there's a lot of things outside of the main movie timeline, the Star Wars 9 that we'll call them, that is going on, because this is a hill I'll die on. Star Wars is the greatest franchise that has existed. Because there are tons of things that have like a whole bunch of lore with them, but like the extensive amount of lore of Star Wars that exists in the past and in the present, that's even changing and like evolving, is just
so much lore that they've canceled a whole bunch of it and reset.
Yep, because they're like, this is so much stuff. Why did you keep doing this?
Could you imagine if like Lord of the Rings is up for sale right now? Could you imagine if somebody bought that and was like, we're just going to start over?
Everyone would riot. Everyone
That's
would riot.
basically what Disney did when they bought Star Wars. It was like,
They're like, oh, this is a lot of stuff. This is Han and Leia have a son. We're going to make 3 movies on this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Luke had a wife? Yeah, scratch that out. That's another thing. Like if they're doing an Obi-Wan series, they could do a Luke series.
They could do
and
a
have
Luke
Sebastian
series.
Stan, and then find Jade.
Mira Jade.
Yeah, Mira Jade.
Because that's his Sith wife. That's his bae. That's his redheaded gorgeous queen.
And that could also explain how Luke got to that point too, because he was tainted or whatever.
He fell in love. Because at first, when they first met, long ago in a galaxy far, far away, she was tasked with like honeypotting him, and then she was like, "Oh, he pretty cool. I think I might let him hit."
Yeah, she twisted her mustache.
So
and Luke was like, "Damn that mustache!
Damn that mustache!" And so then her and Luke were like, "All right, cool," and then they end up getting married, having a baby, and like a whole slew of things. And then she ends up getting killed.
Mm-hmm. And then he decided he wanted to murder his nephew.
Like, if they do a Luke series and they like explain that Luke like started to succumb to anger because Mira Jade fear because like or he had the fear, then his fear came true because Mira Jade like still like either went back over to the dark side or Snoke pouting, whichever, like it just ultimately like killed her. And then Luke is like, well, that came true. Now I have this other fear that Snoke is going to get to my nephew
and mess him up.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what messes men up more than anything? Women.
Yeah.
What messes women up more than anything? Men. Love.
Love
messes people up.
So
if it goes wrong.
If it goes wrong. So they could definitely pull all that in together and, like, lead up to the moment where Ben... I'm trying not to burp. I'm sorry. Where Ben turns around, sees his uncle up there, like, about to swing down on him and everything. So, and then
we weren't ready for that, Luke. We weren't ready for that.
No.
Mark Hamill wasn't ready for that.
No. Gosh. One of these days we just do a video and I'll tell you how I would have done those movies. I would have kept a lot of stuff, and I would have just, these tiny little tweaks would have just made everything just fine. Not even fine, like good.
A little forethought and planning ahead would have made a huge difference.
Little voice. I'll give you a taste, Dylan. So if Rey, like the moment she comes in contact with someone else who is force sensitive, say she meets, who did she meet first? Kylo Ren. Say like she was cool up until the moment she found the lightsaber. And she, still had the sequences of all the voices and everything. But what if all the voices had like one or two things in common that kind of like literally left it up as a toss up in the air? All the little flashbacks she heard either had Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice or Palpatine's voice. And like you wouldn't notice it because it would just be kind of like random. But the person who did it would have noticed it. And then once she comes into contact with Kylo Ren and she's captured on the ship, she then starts hearing a voice that we can't tell who it is. It doesn't sound like Snoke because we've already heard Snoke talk, but it starts as a whisper. And then by the time they get to the forest and she's up there and she sees Finn down the ground, it's like screaming at her, like anger. And it's like telling her to use her anger. And then she just starts swinging on Kylo Ren. But she's fighting, and she doesn't even know how she's fighting. And then she ends up, like, beating Kylo Ren the way she does. Like, just that alone, I feel like could have helped the movie.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Instead of just like, who is this person out of nowhere? Well, it could be anybody is the answer. Come on. Like, the plan was from day one for her to be Obi-Wan's
granddaughter.
Yeah.
And then they switched to Palpatine for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I'll leave it.
Somehow.
We'll just keep it.
I hate it when they do that. Like I prefer the George R.R. Martin approach where stick to your guns, and because even if people figure it out, they're still going to enjoy the journey of how it gets there. And you can neither confirm or deny, and play that game, but don't just straight up like take a left turn and be like, no, you didn't know what I was going to do. It's like, come on.
And I would have, oh man. It should have, every time Kylo Ren and Rey fought, the lightsaber should have acted weird. Because they're both Anakin's lightsabers. Well, the crystal in Kylo Ren's is Vader's crystal, and she's using Anakin's lightsaber. They shouldn't have been acting normal, in my opinion, because they're literally two different people who, throughout his entire comics, he's come face to face with Anakin, and he has to keep punching him in the face and pushing him down. So like the lightsaber should have like not necessarily malfunctioned, but like become like two siblings fighting each other.
Or like opposing magnets.
Yeah. Like that, yeah, like opposing magnets. See, Dylan gets it. Dylan wants to make money. So, yeah, like they couldn't have not necessarily hurt each other, but they should have been acting.
That would have been like a bomb scene if they would have like built up to like that whole the tension and the anger and just rage, and they go to like and then they just repel each other.
Oh my god. Oh,
that would have been insane.
Yep. It's fine. Whatever.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Tamari. I can't remember. I cannot remember his name. I keep trying to look it up and then I'll forget again.
Oh, Boba Fett?
Yeah, the guy that plays Boba Fett. He also wants to play all the clones. Like, bring it on. Just do it.
Yeah. I mean,
Do it.
he's at the right age for it. If we're going to have clones after the Jedi. After episode 6.
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. I mean, especially if we're having Obi-Wan, like somebody's got to come get him. There's got to be a mission.
Bruh, Rex shows up on Tatooine. I'm done.
I wonder if is Rex dead or is he still out there somewhere?
He's still out there.
Still out there somewhere. So he can show up in Ahsoka.
He can show up in Ahsoka. Because he doesn't die. He shouldn't die until closer to episode 7. Because he was on Endor. They retconned that. So, oddly enough, when they shot the movie back in the 80s, there was this elderly gentleman who was bald-headed and had a little goatee. And the fans were like, hey... Is that Rex? I feel like that should be Rex because he was alive during he was alive during episode 4 and 5, and then that he was on the Battle of Endor, and he survived that. And so they made a character who just so happened to be kind of tan and old, Rex.
Oh, they canonized that?
They canonized it.
Oh, that's cool.
So
like he's actually in the movie?
He's actually in the movie.
Oh, wow.
They changed that guy's character into Captain Rex.
That's kind of like what they did with in Iron Man 2 with the little kid. They're like, oh, you think that's headcanon? That's Peter Parker. That's Peter Parker.
All right, that's Peter Parker. Change credits. So yeah, and it confirms that he's alive after that because he didn't die. He got saved, and that was the only scene that we had of him. But I don't know what happens after that. So Ahsoka, here we go.
Mm-hmm. Who can literally travel through time?
I think they destroyed that temple.
Okay.
Maybe. That's a hard
Force
maybe.
is nuts.
The Force is nuts. Star Wars is nuts. There's a lot. There's so much. And then with like Star Wars Visions, it just added on to that nuttiness. Have you watched Visions?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's added on to the nuttiness. Like so much fun.
I love how they keep bringing the Western and samurai stuff back in.
Yep.
And sourcing that.
Because I mean that's
what they are. I mean,
yeah. It's space samurais and space cowboys.
Mm-hmm. And literally, like our Westerns are patterned after the Japanese samurai movies.
Yep. The Bushido? Not Bushido. It'll come to me later. Yep. Which is why they blend so well. Yeah. Samurai, cowboys, and aliens.
Yeah. What?
Samurais, cowboys, and aliens. That's literally what Star Wars is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Daniel Craig, I got a movie for you.
Which bombed because everybody's like, I don't understand. It's like, it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, man.
It's Star Wars.
He's the first Mandalorian. What are you talking about?
Dude, just make that like the first appearance of Earth in Star Wars.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh yeah, Earth is in Star Wars. I keep forgetting about that.
Because it's actually technically a long time ago.
Yeah, so it's
in a galaxy far, far away.
It's
So,
all
it
this is
happened a long
past.
time
Yeah.
So if we can jump into the future, like what's it
Which
gonna look
is-
like now? That'd be crazy. All right, we've been talking about 2 hours almost.
Yep.
So, about all kinds of Star Wars stuff, just because we're geeking out and having fun. Talking about Boba Fett and
Boba Fett, where?
so it was a lot of fun, and really excited to see where they're taking this expanded universe and where they're going with it, or this new expanded universe, where they're taking it. With Mando, I'm not even sure when Mando season 3 is coming out, but there's a lot that they could be working on.
Yes.
But anyways, thanks for joining us. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, I've dumped a whole lot of lore out today.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to talk Star Wars with us, hit us up on Twitter at our handles on the screen here, especially this guy. He could talk your ear off, obviously. He could talk some more.
Let's
great.
talk about what lightsaber colors mean. You know what the rarest color of all is? Bronze.
Bronze.
Bronze. Only 2 people have had it. Yeah. That's all.
There you go. I did not know there was a bronze lightsaber.
Yeah.
I thought I knew Star Wars, but I don't.
There's just a lot of nonsense information in here.
And that's fine. That's why you're here.
That's why.
I would have been talking out of my ass the entire time. So, anyways, yeah, thanks for joining us. Whether you're, we hope that you will join us live every Thursday at 9:30 ish p.m. Central Standard Time. And please like, subscribe, and hit the little bell icon so that you know when we drop new videos, when we go live, and all that jazz. And don't forget, we're on Twitch, we are on YouTube, and we are on Facebook. So, yeah,
Bookface.
maybe at some point we'll be live streaming on TikTok.
TikTok,
Maybe.
TikTok.
We'll see.
Yep.
I got to figure out how to schedule that stuff. I'm gonna figure it out. Anyways, yep. Don't forget to check out the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And I'm Dylan,
I'm Quinn.
and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.